Hi, good morning. Let's have a short exercise after that filling breakfast. Raise your left arm if you heard ChatGPT. Now, who here have ever used Google Maps? Raise your right arms, please. How about have you asked Siri or Hello Google to do anything? Anything at all? Raise both arms, please. Thank you for participating. Feels good to stretch, isn't it? So, artificial intelligence, or AI, found its way deeply rooted in our daily lives. AI is the buzzwords nowadays. It's lit, it's hip, but believe it or not, it has been coined since the 1950s. AI is here to stay, and if the Philippines wants to stay ahead or even keep up with the path of the global market, we have to know the current trends and act accordingly. If you are here to know how we can empower Filipinos in the AI era, you are in the right place. We will focus on the overview of our education and training statistics and what the global market needs and how we can align our roadmap to help Filipinos achieve to be AI ready. AI is everywhere. You have more than likely used these things: the self ordering kiosks at McDonald's and Jollibee, or ordered food through Grab or Food Panda, or maybe you were in a rush and booked a Grab car or Angkas. The self ordering kiosks in McDo had been in the Philippines since 2018, while 2019 for Jollibee. Grab was in 2013 and Food Panda was 2014. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the new technology adaptations in all of Southeast Asia, and Philippines is no exception. More people are also connected to the internet. Take a look at this graph by the World Bank. We are comparing 2020 in darker shade versus 2000 in lighter shade. Due to lack of data, the latest available year used was 2001 for Myanmar, 2017 for Laos and Myanmar, and 2019 for Brunei, OECD countries, and the Philippines. So OECD is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, so such as countries of Germany, US, UK, South Korea, etc. In the latest data, 63.7% of the ASEAN population, or 400 million people on average, have adapted digital solutions and have demonstrated digital skills. Philippines' connectivity is lesser than the ASEAN average at 46.8% of its total population. The ASEAN average, and the Philippines as well, are behind the 85% of the total population in the OECD countries. The rise of people connected to the internet impacted the way they work, remote, on-site, or mix. There is also the surge of different jobs related to the changing world market because of the adaptation or adaptation to new technologies. AI in this regard. AI would continue to shape what the future would look like. In a study conducted by Frey and Osborne, the future of employment, how susceptible are jobs to computerization? 50% of jobs in the Philippines are at risk of automation or with the probability of significant change. Automation will target repetitive tasks in million jobs. Automation means job loss in low-skilled workers and minimum wage earners. The International Labour Organization in 2016 said that a chunk of shop assistants in the Philippines would be affected by this. Automation would be visible across different sectors such as manufacturing, construction, wholesale, retail, hotels, and restaurants. The first out in automation are the low-skilled jobs. They are also located at the bottom of the global value chain. Now, how do we respond to these? We continue to upskill and reskill our current workforce. and align our education curricula to the evolving needs of the global market and the labor conditions. Statistics suggest that the Philippine population is aging, similar to all ASEAN countries. But the Philippines is still in the early stage of this demographic transition as per the United Nations. It would be wise to invest to the youth to benefit from their improved productivity, competitiveness, and skills. All these would help the Philippines to provide a workforce in the higher end of the global value chain. It begs the question, does the Philippines have what it takes to be AI ready? To answer, let's see whether the Filipinos can access education first. How are students' performance in reading, mathematics, and science? What about adults or employees? Are they trained for their work? These are indicators that are important to look at to gauge the Philippines' readiness in the changing global market conditions. According to the World Development Indicators of the World Bank, the Philippines has made significant progress in reducing the number of repetition years in primary education, surpassing the averages of both ASEAN and OECD countries. The graph here illustrates this trend. In 2000, the primary education system had an enrollment rate of 109.4%, indicating that there were more students enrolled than necessary. However, in 2019, this rate had decreased to 99.1%, implying that only 0.9% of children who should be in primary school were not enrolled. Secondary education is another story. 8 out of 10 youth are enrolled in 2019, but 1 in 5 youth cannot finish the secondary education. Sadly, the Philippines has a very low enrollees in the tertiary level. 3 out of 10 youth enroll in colleges. Although the Philippines has shown improvement in its gross enrollment rate in the tertiary level from 2000 to 2019 with a 5% increase, it still needs to catch up with both ASEAN and OECD countries, even when considering the average rate. What about those who are done studying? Say those employed. Do we still measure our AI readiness based on them? Yes, they are already in the workforce. In a survey conducted by the World Bank in 2020, the Philippines stood out with the highest score of 58.9% in terms of employers providing training with a structured and defined curriculum to their employees. This training encompassed various methods such as classroom work, seminars, lectures, workshops, and audiovisual presentations and demonstrations. This statistic is significantly higher than the ASEAN average of 31.3%. Another positive note, the literacy rate in the Philippines among ASEAN and adults is higher than the ASEAN countries' average, standing at 97.4% compared to 93.2%. Literacy refers to the ability of individuals to both read and write, as well as understand short and simple statements related to everyday life. There are also other dimensions that we have to improve. Access to education is one. Another is improving the quality of education and training that we offer. In a 2018 study conducted by the OECD Program for International Student Assessment, Filipino students aged 15 and above scored the lowest, on average, in reading, mathematics, and science knowledge and skills among their peers in Southeast Asia. Filipino students scored 340 out of 1,000 in reading, compared to an average of 413 points by their peers in ASEAN countries. In mathematics, they scored 353 versus 432. And in science, they scored 357 points compared to the average of 433. The study also revealed that although there is no significant gap between the scores of girls and boys, this is contrary to the rich and the poor students. Another equally important indicator to look at is the digital skills of youths and adults, especially as economic activities become more dependent on technology. The Institute for Statistics in 2019 measured the digital skills of youth and adults aged 15 to 75. This included copy-paste tools, sending emails with attached files, documents, pictures, videos, basic arithmetic formulas in spreadsheet, finding, downloading, installing, and configuring software, creating electronic presentations with different softwares, transferring files between a computer and other devices, writing a computer program using a specialized programming language. As we can see in graph, the Southeast Asian countries need to catch up to the OECD countries, more so for the Philippines. Only 3% of Filipinos aged 15 to 75 have digital skills. Moreover, in a 2019 survey by the World Economic Forum, Filipino youth aged 15 to 35 identified their weakest skills in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics areas, including programming and data analytics. We know that AI is deeply rooted in our daily lives, and it is impendingly the future. Is the Philippines ready yet? Now what? On a positive note, the Philippines had increased the access of Filipinos to education from primary level to the tertiary level for the last 20 years. But more efforts are needed to enroll children and youth to school and see them graduate. We need to broaden the access of Filipinos in skills and development. Let us start in early childhood, in families. Because of COVID-19, we also saw the trend of online and offline classes. Let us strengthen both for mixed type of learning to cater more learning styles and increase the access of for lifelong learning to adults and employees. We also need to increase the quality of education and training curricula, especially on reading, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, digital skills, including programming and data analytics. Students' assessment should be in place, supervised by specialized personnel to unload the teachers. It is also important to increase the skills of teachers and other human resources in the education system. The global population is aging, and Philippines is no exception. We are still in the early age of this trend, and we can harness this opportunity to align the education and training curricula to the needs of the global market. We should continue to reskill and upskill our workforce. If we do not act now, if we do not prepare for the AI future, Filipinos might remain at the lower end of the global value chain. Jose Rizal wrote, Bella Esperanza de la Patria Mia, also known as Ang Kabataan ang Pag-asa ng Bayan. Why don't we make it easier for our youth? Let us empower our Filipino youth now to help shape their future, their AI ready future. Thank you.